lean on us.
We are here for you.
You matter.
You are not alone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Not sure where to turn? The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there for you 24/7. Call or text 988 or chat at 988sc.org. Whether you're having an emergency or you know someone who needs support now, they can help you take the next step towards finding hope and healing.
There is hope. 988sc.org.
Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code play100. That's code play100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Steering wheel. Lobster steering wheel here. Steering wheel. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to it. Come on. Whoa.
You like my bass? You like it?
How the f*** that's possible?
I'm driving like a grandma. Get that, Ralph? Did you hear me? On the radio. We're ready for the race. Ralph, acknowledge. Now come on, close him down and kill him. We've got a lunatic on the track down that interstate.
I am so annoyed.
No, Todd, not now.
Hello and welcome inside the Park for May, or should I say welcome back to the Park for May. Yes, it is 2021, a brand new year. This is Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
AKA Negative Camber. You know why I've asked you here.
You must convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
That's exactly what I need you to do. Tonight, for your kind consideration on podcast 714, we are going to offer this year's resolutions. Resolutions? Yes, you know how they do this. Every year we come up with the resolutions and, you know, that I'm committed to losing that weight. I'm committed to more running. Well, I can't say that because Paul's done all that in 2021 or 2020 anyway. So, in order to offer this year's New Year's resolutions for Formula One, these are our resolutions for Formula One. You'll pick it up. You guys are smart. You'll know how we're doing this format. But I have to introduce my guests tonight, which includes the redoubtable
Race!
And you know him.
Wrecked from out of the wasteland. He's bad, he's beautiful, he's crazy. It's...
Hello, everybody. This is Paul Charles, the International.
It's the International. Paul Grace, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Todd. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, well, you're very welcome.
All the way from Kent.
Yes.
The port of Kent.
Right.
Actually, I couldn't get across the port of Kent, unfortunately.
No, that's what I've heard.
They won't let me out. Yes.
No, they wouldn't let him in or out.
Either way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think anything's going either way.
You know, it was prophetic when we started bigging up Kent all those months ago that Kent would be the I guess the crux of Brexit.
Right.
Epicenter. Yes.
Why wouldn't
Once
Kent
again.
be the epicenter of Brexit? Of course it would be Kent.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Soothsayers, you may call us.
I know. We were Kent before Kent was Kent.
That's right.
Right.
Gosh. Hey, Paul, Happy New Year.
Hey, Happy New Year to you.
Yeah. Grace, Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year to you as well, Todd.
You know, I got to tell you, my New Year is starting off really crappy. Literally.
Oh.
Yeah, the sewer backed up in my basement, and the drains in the basement overflowed in the sewer. So now I have to have a restoration crew out, ripping up carpet, drywall. That happened on New Year's Day. That's how my year is starting. Shitty.
That is very shitty.
Literally.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got that going.
stinks.
For me. Yeah, literally. Here, Paul, let me show you how I'm combating that. See?
Oh.
Yeah. Candle.
Right behind that door of your office.
My office, right behind that door, is death and carnage. Right there is a petri dish right behind that door.
Yikes, man. That's
It's
nasty.
not good. It's
I love basements, but that is an issue.
I love basements. It's a major issue. And so, yeah, all the things I wanted to get done on the website, all the things I wanted to get done, all of that was time out. That ain't happening. It was, at this point. Oh, you're kidding me. So I got that going, but I did manage to craft some podcast notes tonight. Tonight's podcast is a very special podcast. That's why all three of us on. Grace, I do have to commend you on your LED lights matching the colors of the Parc Fermé, Grace. That is some kind of awesome.
Thank you.
Well
Well,
done.
as you can see, there's one more square. So hopefully by the time 2021 season starts, I'll have enough squares so I can do the grid.
Ooh, I think that one should be flashing yellow.
I think you get
So that
5
Lewis
of
sees
those
them.
and
Yeah.
do the lights, the starting
Yeah.
lights.
Just go pit now. No, out. No, in, out. No.
Yeah. No, Lewis, it's red. Don't box now. You'll get a 10-second grid penalty. We think.
Right.
Oh my
So I'm
God.
just trying to be like all the other cool, content developer people
You're
with my
totally
nano.
cool. Yeah, you're totally cool. For those listeners that don't watch the YouTube video, they're like, what the hell? Yeah, I know. It's kind of a visual, folks. Sorry about that. We'll get back to the audio portion of the show, and everyone at this point is saying,
Get to the show!
This is the show!
this is the show. It's the off season. And so what we've done tonight is that Paul, Grace, and I have put together what our recommended resolutions for Formula One would be.
Oh, I thought it was recommended reading. I brought my Kimmy book.
How is
with
that
me.
Kimmy book?
It's good. I haven't learned anything new about Kimmy yet, but supposedly it's in there according to the forward.
Yeah.
And then I got my where is it? Where's my other book? Here it is. Oh, there it is. Come on, hold on. Hold it, everyone, just hold on.
We're not doing a show here or anything.
And I got my How to Build a Car by Adrian Newey. So
Nice.
I haven't started this yet, but hopefully there's all the nuts and bolts I need, and I'll build an F1 car in my garage.
Well,
And then
that's weird. I've been listening to Paul Charsley's greatest polka hits. They're great, Paul.
Well, there's quite a few of them actually.
Yeah, there is.
Not many people knew that. I was quite a hit in the late 80s with the polka. Yeah.
I learned so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And Paul and I were sharing some, visuals over the holiday. Paul and I very much celebrated
Well, easy.
our Scottish heritage. Paul in his kilt and nothing else. Paul is Scottish, by the way, part.
Yep, half Scottish. Yep.
And I am too.
Yeah.
So, we can't all be from the western wilds of Pennsylvania, Grace.
Yeah.
So are you
Scotland's
guys ready?
a fantastic place.
It is a fantastic place.
Yeah.
And if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
That's all I can offer you.
Heed, dune, new.
True statement.
Yep. So, all right, Grace, are you ready
It's
to
like
get it?
Sputnik.
Spherically and pointy in parts.
Crying himself to sleep in his huge head on a pillow.
Oh, you'll buy my chicken.
Puts a chemical in it, makes it crave it a fortnight. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I know.
Okay.
We get the segue. This is the off season. We can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about.
The Pentaveret. Yes.
We've got to pipe us down.
It's okay. It's just pissed.
Yes. All right. So let's get into some New Year's resolution. Now we're going to do this in a format that the listeners will be familiar with when Paul and I do race review formats. We are going to go team by team. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that our resolution is for the team, which it could be, but it could be anyone associated with that team. So when I say Mercedes, Paul could say, I think Andrew Shovlin this should be his resolution, right? Andrew Shovlin works for Mercedes. He's a genius. He's a wonderful chap. That could be. So it could be anyone in the Mercedes orbit. It could actually be the CEO of Mercedes. Who knows? We'll find out as we go through. But in order to categorize the containers, we're going to go team by team. So with that, let's start at the very top of the pile. And let's start where we typically start on a race review weekend. Yep, it's Mercedes. That's where we're going to start. All right, Grace, since you have your stuff together and you have the world's most awesome cat tree behind you,
Thank you.
I'm going to
Burj
start with
Khalifa
you.
cat trees.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Just none of those cat photos.
If I lived there, I'd be on that.
I watch out for the leg, but you never know. Cats.
So traumatized by that photo, Grace. I don't. I don't know if I'm more traumatized by the photo or that you posted the photo. You know, it's like, you know, you take pictures of kids in the bath and you got the little, you know, floaty toy in the right place to, you know, have some humility there. No, there was nothing.
No,
Levi
it was out
didn't
there.
care. He was fine with it.
It's like marzipan.
Evidently, you didn't either. You know,
it's like marzipan. There's just things you don't post, man.
I don't know. People liked it. You were the outlier.
Paul's offended by cat bits.
It's only because he doesn't own a cat. If he owned a cat, he would have come to terms with the cat bits a long time ago.
Yes,
possibly so.
Yeah. At some point, everyone comes to terms with the cat bits.
I'm just
putting it out there. Yeah. So, all right.
How they roll.
Grace, we're going to start with you. Your New Year's resolution for the Mercedes camp.
Okay, so I have some narrative too. I wasn't sure,
Of course you do.
Sometimes
It's
I
what
try
you
to put
do.
all the work that I'm supposed to do on every show into one show, right?
That's it. And this is that show.
Oh man, no pressure.
I don't know. Anyway, so I was kind of thinking Mercedes is hard too, right? Because, you know, they're the best. They're going to keep being the best until the rule changes. So then that got me thinking, like, you know, what is, you know, 2025 going to look like when the engine changes, even though they're making some rule changes in 2022. So I thought, you know, I think Mercedes is trying to...
Sorry, go ahead.
He's choking.
I was blowing out my candle and there's a lot of backlash there.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. I'm just surviving over here in a
I
basement
know.
full of poo. Bear with
It's
me.
okay. We'll do it live.
Yeah, I've got that.
We'll do
Paul.
it live.
Yeah, go ahead, Grace.
All right. So anyway, Mercedes, I think they're going to keep dominating until the engine change, which I believe is in 2025. And then I think Mercedes is going to leave because I don't think they want to experience the not awesomeness of being the front of the pack, right? And so
Wait a minute. Breaking news. Mercedes leaves Formula One, according to Grace.
There you go. So I just think that instead of saying, there's a big rule change and they're changing the engines and let's see how this team's going to deal with that or how that's going to work for us. No, they're just going to not be there anymore. So I think that, you know, as a manufacturer, right now they may stay in as an engine, you know, engine provider, or they may stay in some way. But I think that Mercedes, as we now think of them, oh, look at this, right on cue. The cat bits.
Wow, look at that.
Hi, Ziggy. How's it going? All right. So anyway, so my first resolution is that Toto Wolff now owns a third of the team,
does.
right? With
Yeah.
Mercedes,
With Ineos, right?
and Ineos, right?
Yeah.
So I think that in 2022, in preparation for 2025, when Mercedes leaves, they should rebrand the team a la Braun GP, but call it Woof One.
Oh.
Get down.
It's almost as good as Team Barf One. So
It is
I'm just going to
Wolf
go
One.
Woof One. Because Mercedes is going to leave. So let's just change the name of the team, just give it all to Toto, call it Woof One,
Woof
and we can
One.
be on our way.
I like it.
There you go.
All right. That's a good resolution. Paul, what was your New Year's resolution for Merck?
Well, as Grace said, you know, we're probably likely in for some more of the same with the domination. So I think with that in mind, I think, you know, the Empire needs to change it up and be a bit more free flow, jazzy kind of thing, you know? First off, they need to reinvent the championship photo. I'm about fed up with the pit board and the P1 on it and everyone going, I like that. We need to bring back the car launch approach to their championship.
Yes.
We need Lewis to come down on a wire. We need a fountain, you know, flooding the
car lifted up on a hydraulic.
Yeah, and water flowing and dancing girls and Olympic
Confetti
style,
cannons.
confetti, something like that. We need to just jazz
Well, no
that.
girls, you can't do that, but yeah.
Right. Well, everybody has to be represented in that.
You can add boys
Doesn't have
out
to be
Valencia.
girls. Yes, you can definitely have that. Old Monaco. Yep. So anyway, some kind of celebratory group of people, non-gender specific, dancing in the background. Okay.
You write the specifications for the celebration right now. That's some great requirements right there.
So I want that to be looking forward to during the year, so I have something to look forward to rather than, as I said, the old classic sitting on a tire, kind of, standing by the pit board, everyone P1, everyone laying down, that kind of stuff. So I think Mercedes need to shake up that image, and they need to bring a little fun into this next year of domination, because that's basically what we're in for. So we want something different. Change the uniforms, change the livery, haircuts, whatever. Just do something fun.
Yeah.
For a change.
Quit being such like the Empire.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
They added Roscoe.
They did. They could just have Lewis
for you?
come out, drinking a Coke,
on his scooter,
Why not? That's a good one. See, Paul, I'm right there with you. I'm channeling you, buddy. I got your back on this one, because here's my resolution for Mercedes. At this point, I think Mercedes should have the resolution to avoid Toto Wolff becoming the John Kreese of the F1 paddock, with Mercedes functioning effectively at this point as Cobra Kai Dojo. All right? Going for an 8th title at this point is just giving fans a bloody nose over 8 years of sheer baked-in advantage and domination. And the more they try to play up the concept of how close it's going to be with Red Bull, the more patronizing it becomes. And the more they look like they're simply trying to sweep the leg, Johnny.
Yes.
Did you like that?
Come on, Grace.
I went with wax on, wax off. Paint the fence.
That's right.
I got it.
There you go.
All right.
That's my resolution. So it's tying into yours, Paul. Stop the nonsense and shenanigans. Lighten it up. Have fun with it, because you at this point are beating everyone in the paddock like a narc at a biker rally. You might as well just have fun with it. Number 8's coming, and just have fun. Lighten it up. Change it.
Yeah.
I would also like to add that my writing staff would like me to include that Hamilton will stop complaining about his tires, and Bono will finally give Hamilton better tires.
That's good.
And they should just go with Lewis's strategy all year long.
Yeah, right. Whatever he wants.
Whatever he wants. Just let him do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Shouldn't I pit now? Okay, Lewis.
Whatever.
Go. Pit now. We're just going to send our 20 strategists home.
Right.
And we're just going to let you call it from the.
And when they changes and he comes out and goes, I don't know, guys, we probably shouldn't have gotten on these tires. Okay, come back in and we'll put the other tires back on.
We'll put the other ones on.
Whatever you want.
Right. I like this. I think this is good. And you can
like it.
Call it Wolf 1 and do what you want.
There you go.
It'll be the fun team.
I like it. All right.
Sorted.
All right. Let's move to the next team on our rostrum. It is Red Bull Racing. It's tomorrow. We're going to go Red Bull Racing. Grace, give us your resolution for Red Bull Racing in 2021.
Okay, so I think that Red Bull Racing, their resolution, they need to figure out how to have their young drivers thrive at their team instead of at everyone else's team.
Ah, I like it.
Lean on us.
We are here for you.
You matter.
You are not alone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Not sure where to turn? The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there for you 24/7. Call or text 988 or chat at 988sc.org. Whether you're having an emergency or you know someone who needs support now, they can help you take the next step towards finding hope and healing.
There is hope. 988sc.org.
Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code PLAY100. That's code PLAY100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
How are they going to do that?
I don't know. Maybe learn how to manage somebody other than Max Verstappen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I think management, right? Management is management. And yeah, it would be great if you only had to manage people who thought like you or had the same experience as you or, were introverted or extroverted the same way you are. But that is never how it works in any team. So you have to adapt. You have to be willing to work with people who are different than you and bring everybody's strengths together to get a project done. You can't just hope you find another Max Verstappen by bringing in a new driver halfway through every season.
Yeah, and
right?
then they get down to the end, like with Albon, they're like,
"Hey, what happened?"
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're repeating. It's just rinse and repeat at this point.
Right.
Spit them up, chew them out.
I agree. Yep. That's a good one, Grace. I like it. And it's true. Paul, what'd you have for Red Bull?
It's kind of going along those same lines, and this could help happen what Grace wants to emerge in, and that's we need to tell Helmut Marko the wrong schedule for the season, and don't tell him what hotel the team is staying in, so he never actually shows up at the race, so he can't throw his acid pill into every relationship and every driver that comes into the team.
He ruins everything he touches.
Not good enough, damn it! Not good enough.
You got Max Verstappen, you got Perez. Let the pros do their work. Keep Helmut out of the garage. Don't let him interfere. He's got no young driver to bring along anymore.
Right.
Just leave it alone, Helmut. Whatever you need to do, just avoid him coming to the track and being involved with the team.
I like your option. It's like, where in the world is Helmut Marko? Like, this is a more fun option. I would love to be the logistics person that goes, let's see, we're in China this week. Where should we send him? Austin. That sounds good. Let's send him there. See if he figures it out.
It's just constant photos of him standing with his Red Bull bag at the airport waiting for his pickup.
You know what
Where
they should
is
do?
everybody?
They should send him to other racing series, like, send him to a DTM race, send him to a MotoGP race. So it's still a racing event. It's just not the one he's supposed to be at.
Yeah.
Someone he can't fire somebody or completely destroy their mental attitude.
So it's like the British Grand Prix, and there he's at the airport at Sepang. He's just he's like over there. Where the hell is everybody? What?
Who can I pit against each other? Is there anyone here? He starts playing with like little ants down there and having them fight with each other. And the other one would be I feel like Christian Horner today because I got like a high collar thing going on.
I was going to come with that here in your little vest there. It's very dapper.
I feel a little Christian Horner, but I think he needs to run the team like we talked about. Red Bull needs to be a big boy team. He needs to run the team like Ron Dennis would. Right? Not like Ronald McDonald would.
Nice, Ron.
Yes. I like it.
Bring a bit,
Did you get that vest from the David Nivens collection at JCPenney?
No, oddly enough, they were all out.
Damn.
Yeah. I had to get it where the rest of the world gets their stuff. I had to get it from Amazon.
Here I am looking very Forrest Whitaker, and you're over there looking very dapper.
Well, I'm gearing up,
Yeah.
Team gear and stuff. It's only 3 weeks till Daytona, man.
That's right.
I'm getting myself in the game.
You're in the game. You're in the headspace. That's right. All right. So my resolution for Red Bull is this. Red Bull's resolution should be to figure out a way in this year of technical freezes to make a competitive car so their 2-point scoring drivers can make the most of it. They've got to start delivering for Max and vice versa. So maybe resolve to locking Adrian Newey in his design studio and have Uber Eats deliver more curry if and when needed.
Perfect.
Don't let him out until you've got a race winner.
Send him the book. Adrian Newey.
Right.
This was in your stocking.
I think it's on page 79.
I think it is. Eat
That
more
would be
curry.
hilarious.
Yep. active suspension. There you go.
That's it. Active suspension.
No one will
courage.
notice. No one will
I
notice.
tabbed some things for you that you might find useful.
Right. You see Paul tab out certain things and underline and write some notes in the margins and
Highlight
send that
it
book
for
to
him.
Adrian. Say, Adrian, I tabbed this for you. A couple concepts, useful ideas. Think it might work.
I learned some stuff.
Right. It works in IMSA. We put 3 rounds of wedge and a pound in the rear.
Yes.
That's what we do. Yeah.
That's it, man.
Every time.
I like it. All right. That's good. All right. Moving on to Grace's team.
Nice, Ron.
Let's go to McLaren Mercedes. All right, Grace, your resolution for McLaren in 2021.
So I have to say, right, as a McLaren fan, I'm cautiously optimistic always. Like this year, it really took me a while to even believe that this wasn't going to be another McLaren year, right? That it was actually going to be successful. They were actually going to do a job. It was going to carry through the whole year, and that I didn't have to wait for the other shoe to drop. And so I'm just going to keep going with that because I think that Ricciardo will just fit right in with McLaren. I think he's going to find what he left Red Bull for and what he hoped to find from Renault. I think
he's going to find what he's looking for, to quote Bono.
I think he's going to get, yeah, that's right. I think he's going to get that support finally that he needs as a driver, and it'll continue to be successful for them. So my resolution is don't muck it up. Specifically, do whatever you need to do to keep Seidl happy and the money flowing, because I think Seidl's been great for them, and I think as long as they have the money coming in, which, in Abu Dhabi, Dag Brown was like, we got that. Don't worry. We got our resources covered. So as long as that continues to be there, the guys in the rectangle won't have to call Ron Dennis. So
Right.
Good.
Because you got to have a harmony between the people in the square building and the people in the circle building.
That's right.
That's got to work.
That's right.
It's
So
gotta
don't
be completely clean.
Yeah, that's right.
does.
Don't make the square people call Ron Dennis.
Yeah.
So
Don't be messy, Ricardo. Don't
no.
Go be tidy.
That's right.
Pick up after yourself before you leave in the evening.
You never know.
Those people start playing with your desk.
Moving your pins around.
Right.
Wait a minute. That's not
They should
right,
show him
was
coming
it?
in with his box, like how he left Renault, right?
Well, he did. Didn't they have him come in? Did you see that video
Yeah,
when he came
with
to
the
Renault?
box.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same. Yeah, same scenario. That'd be funny.
Make sure. I think the stuff should be the same. Like they should watch that video and make the same video, just of him coming in with the same box of stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, wait. Is
Deleting Cyril's email contact info.
Swipe. Yeah.
Delete. Yeah.
Is Zach been going through my trash?
Who dis new phone? Right. Like totally whatever.
I like
So I think that would be.
Good.
That's it.
All right, Paul. Your resolution for McLaren?
All right, I got a couple of things, and I don't want to be mean, because a lot of people's New Year's resolution is to lose weight, etc. So I'm calling on my buddy Zach just to try keto for a while. And this is not because he can be whatever weight he wants to, but I'm a little scared because I think the McLaren team are going to get a lot more podiums this year, and we've seen how excited Zach gets.
Yes.
And when he starts running at you to give you the big old hug,
That's a freight train.
you can hope one of the drivers. We want both these drivers in the McLaren cars all year long. We don't want to have any injuries on the podium celebration. So I just think, Zach, maybe try a little keto, maybe a little run around the block or something like that, just to, bring yourself, not so steamrolly in the podium celebration.
Well, look, it's that running the track and stuff. That's done a bang up job for David Croft. So
maybe they could be, workout buddies.
Buddies. Right.
yeah, so there you
Stop
go.
at the in and out at turn 4.
Yeah.
But actually, also, I had another one going along with actually very similar to what Grace was saying, was Ricardo needs to come in and keep the spirit of the team as it was when Sainz left, because they're on a very good trajectory right now, and Ricardo does fit into that mold very, very well. And also, he needs to forget about everything he did before with the Red Bulls and as you said, and just focus on making McLaren great again, and just don't look outside. Don't say, maybe I could be driving Ferrari. Maybe we could drive Mercedes. Focus on being a McLaren driver for a long time, because him and Norris can do this together as a team and make that team be a race winner again for sure.
That's a good resolution.
Yeah.
My resolution isn't that good, Paul. I said I think Zach's resolution should be to send more Harry and David fruit baskets to the folks in Bahrain to get them to pony up money needed to keep the team moving forward with their new Mercedes lump in the hands of Daniel Ricciardo. Maybe that basket could include, and I'm just suggesting, some passion fruits and maybe even a toy from Lando's Toy Box.
Ooh, passion fruit, very popular on the British Breaking Show.
There you go. That's it.
Yes, it was.
I bought some myself and kept meaning to use it and never did, and it spoiled both times I bought passion fruit, and so I've given up on the whole scenario.
I've never actually used passion fruit, but I also I can't bake any of the things they make on the show, so.
Oh, I've tried. Oh, I've done some stuff. I made yeah.
But we see the gourmet, spreads that you present on Facebook. So I
Yeah, I made the thing with the little dough balls. I made the little pyramid out of them with the caramel spun on top of it. Man,
it's like every day.
That was tough, though.
Paul's got dinner made. Oh, here's some ratatouille I just whipped up.
Yeah, right.
What?
Yes.
And Grace and I are like, what the hell? Yeah, what? Okay.
Meanwhile, Paul's like on the floor staring in his oven. Like,
yeah. Sipping my tea.
Turn the light in the oven on, off, off.
Yes.
Underproofed, overproofed. I don't know.
I don't know. You won't know until it's done. You won't know.
Stick a toothpick in it.
I will say, though, I wish that we had ovens like that. I don't know if I mentioned that. Because they have the doors that slide into the oven. We don't have that here in America. I'd never seen ovens like that before. I wish that would be great. Instead of the door just sticking out and you having to reach in around the door, it's nice that it slides into the oven. Why?
See, the British, what do they think of next?
Ingenuity.
Ingenuity. Just geniuses over there in Kent.
No kidding.
Yeah, definitely a Kent.
Yeah, they made it.
That concept came from Kent. I'm going to tell you that right now. For sure that came from Kent.
Between Kent and the Scottish, it's pretty much covered. Everything has been invented.
You got
That's right. It goes back to how the Scots invented the modern world. A must read. All right, that's McLaren. Let's go to Aston Martin Racing, Grace. What resolution do you have in mind for Aston Martin Racing in 2021?
So, again, I think my writing staff would like to put a shout out to get a new social media person already. They put out one post that was already a disaster. So I don't know. That doesn't bode well for a new team, but we'll see how that goes.
Not as bad as the Haas social media.
Well, nothing to top for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll talk about marzipan. Yeah.
We'll get there. So I think, to me, Racing Point in all their incarnations, Force India, Racing Point, Aston Martin, since they've come in since 2007, I think they've always been the team that always seemed like just like a little bit more, right? And they could be really successful. And I think we've seen that. We've seen glimmers of that. We've seen them be successful this year. So I want them as Aston Martin in that same incarnation to just do it, right? Like to actually get into the top instead of being best of the rest. I think that would be great. And so this is what ties into my resolution is I think they need to support Vettel. I don't know what the I am F1 Vettel is going to look like. Is it going to be fun Red Bull Vettel? Is it going to be Ferrari Vettel? I just think he's going to bring some veteran experience. I think this is what it gets talked about a lot in other sports, that you can have a good team, but bring in a veteran who's won a world championship, or they just bring something to the team. They've been there. They know how to do this. They know what to give you that little extra to push you over. And I think that it could also help, raise Stroll's level, right? To something, maybe Stroll could be something other than just, his dad's cash on the track, right? So you have Vettel. Maybe this is also a chance for Stroll to learn from a vet and, get over the hump and be really successful. But so that's it. I think that's, Vettel. Vettel is really going to be the key there. And also, this isn't really a resolution, but now all the teams do the McLaren unbox videos, right? With all the fun little competition-y things. I can't wait till Vettel and Stroll have to do those kind of videos together. I mean, Vettel and Leclerc.
I can wait for that. I can wait a very long time.
like sim racing all over again. Listen, I'm just saying, Vettel and Leclerc were kind of funny because Leclerc is, he's a very straight man. He's not very funny, but so Vettel just mucks with him in all of the videos. So I can't wait to see how this like Vettel, Lance Stroll with all his hair, how that buddy movie is going to look.
We know Lance is going to get upset if he loses one of those crazy competitions or whatever it is.
I'm the number one driver at this team. Dad. Wow. I think this is the team I think that I'm most interested in seeing what comes of this relationship and what Vettel actually will look like or not look like, because this is his legacy, right? This is where we really will see, is he going to be Michael Schumacher at Ferrari, or is he going to be Michael Schumacher at Mercedes? What are we going to get out of Vettel?
Okay.
I'm hoping again that we see Red Bull Vettel, not Ferrari Vettel, but this is really, this is it. This is your legacy, man. Let's support Vettel, see what we got.
All right, Paul, your resolution?
Okay, well, first off, I'd like to welcome Aston Martin to the team, to our group of racing teams. That's nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, I lost my invite to the Christmas party, apparently,
Yeah, I must have misplaced mine too.
Yeah. So, talking about, we don't know what Vettel's going to look like in 2021. I really only have one thing. I think Aston Martin need to hire a very good hairdresser and stylist, because both Lance and Seb are kind of deprived of any kind of good hair for sure. They've never really hit that mark very well, and they're just outward demeanor or how they show themselves at the races, a little disheveled, maybe a little poofy here, but they need to be, they're representing a British mark now, so you need to be zipped up and
they need to find Carlos Sainz's guy.
You need to look smart, cut your hair, young man, and get out there and represent the brand.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want it now! What's the matter with those twats down there?
Yes. I like that.
Okay.
That's good. I like the haircut idea. Because let's be honest, Lance looks like he's in a perpetual state of having a COVID cut.
He does.
There's that picture from Sochi a couple years ago where it looks like he's wearing a hat, and that's literally his hair.
I know. he's got helmet hair.
Right. It looks like he's wearing like one of those big furry Russian hats.
Yeah.
No, that's just what his hair looks like. So yeah.
Oh, is that a sable? No, it's Lance's hair. Oh.
He's got a lot.
And no mustaches. None.
No.
Either of them.
Vettel.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the male facial hair, which has been an ongoing thing on this show as well. But blonde people don't. You just look dirty. You just look like somebody just wants to oh, that's your facial hair.
With that mustache, he looked like a German haberdasher in München.
Oh, I don't know. It's not a good look.
Weird. All right. So, is it me? My resolution for Aston Martin is this: Vettel needs to make a very important resolution that he will deliver consistently, or if he doesn't, the team is going to have to provide a lot of air cover for him if he doesn't deliver points and take the team forward to the front. I know the German Grand Prix is tagged as the big confidence breaker for him and the turning point in his downfall at Ferrari, but getting rid of Checo, who was a very popular driver among the fans, in favor of Seb, means he has to deliver. So Vettel's resolution for 2021, less brake, more throttle.
Ooh. No spinny.
No spinola. That's right.
No room for error.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it was all about Vettel.
It was.
Who's to blame here is where that went. But yeah, it's all about Vettel.
Yeah. See, we didn't
and a haircut.
Tee off on Lance.
Much.
Sorta. All right. So Renault, Grace, what is the resolution for 2021 for Renault?
Okay. So Renault, Alpine, which I will call Alpine. So please don't just send me whatever hate tweets you're going to send me now, because I will inevitably not call them Alpine. Because that's not what that word is, but all right. So
and you're not French.
All right, whatever.
Je suis Alpine.
Alpine. So anyway, So I think that for as much as I think Aston Martin has the ability to move forward in the field, I have the opposite for Renault. I think that every time Renault gets, a little positive boost, they squander and they just never seem to get anywhere. And again, Renault is in and out, and they have no support, right? It's literally the opposite of what Aston Martin's experiencing. And they've really put all of their apples into the young driver Fernando Alonso apple cart. And I don't, as much as I'm a big fan of young driver Fernando Alonso, I think it's a very romantic idea. Like, who doesn't like the idea? It's a very Drive to Survive kind of story. Like, oh, Alonso comes back to Renault and he's going to save the team. Like, that's not how you run a team. That's not how you run a project, right? Like, so it's a nice idea. It's a nice storyline. It's a nice bit. It's a nice episode of Drive to Survive. But I don't think that was the right move. But they didn't have another.
Wow.
I don't.
You don't think Alonso is a good choice of driver?
I didn't say he wasn't a good choice. I just don't know if he's a good choice for Renault.
Are you crazy?
Wow. I am crazy. That's really good. I'm Alonso 08. I'm a huge Alonso fan. I don't know.
You felt Esteban could have led the team to success?
No, again, I think that given what they had when Ricciardo left, I mean, yeah, Alonso may have been my pick as well, but I don't know.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes. But that's anyway. So my
it's getting a little uncomfortable here.
Sure is.
I don't even know what to say at this point.
I'm sorry, Fernando. I had no idea.
Gosh, I think that it's Renault too. I mean, I don't mean that it's just Fernando Alonso at any team is a bad idea. I just think the mixture of Renault and Fernando Alonso in the situation they're currently in isn't going to be successful.
I understand.
Okay, so please don't send me Alonso hate mail. I love Alonso, right?
Alonso 08.
So anyway, my resolution is they need to get the tattoo, figure out a way to get Red Bull any engine but theirs, and figure out your future already. What are you doing? What are you doing? Stay in, stay out, make a decision, get better. They just seem to have never sorted this out.
Okay, I like that. I actually understand what you're saying, and I endorse it. I think they do need to get themselves sorted. They've been back long enough to get it sorted, and last couple of years, I've been saying that that clock should be ticking on Cyril's.
Lean on us.
We are here for you.
You matter.
You are not alone.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Not sure where to turn? The National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there for you 24/7. Call or text 988 or chat at 988sc.org. Whether you're having an emergency or you know someone who needs support now, they can help you take the next step towards finding hope and healing.
There is hope. 988sc.org.
Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code PLAY100. That's code PLAY100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Time there, because he should have turned this and made a lot more progress this year or last year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Paul, your resolution for Renault Alpine.
All right, Alpine, Renault Alpine. I'm going to call it Alpine.
All right, there you go.
So, I think this team is a little uptight. It's been a little uptight. It's obviously a little nervous, and Cyril doesn't help matters at all, right? So I think with this name change, they need to loosen up a little bit, go a bit more, Euro trash. live like little retro into the 70s where that Renault Turbo first debuted in.
No undershirts, gold chains.
Yeah, the French drivers, the Payets, they got Alonso there. He can kind of fit in that.
Oh,
bill,
yeah.
He can be a scoundrel.
Yeah, they want to start wearing like star glasses and smoking cigarettes on the pit lane. And, and just kind of loosen up just a little bit and, just embrace their alpineness and move forward. It's a whole different makeup they've got this year. With difference between Ricciardo and Alonso is extraordinarily different.
Yeah,
they're both very good drivers, but their approach within the team is going to be so different. They better be ready for that.
Yeah.
So as I said, they need to loosen up. Prost is there still, right? So he remembers those days. So I think he could kind of clue everyone in. But I think they need to loosen up. They need to be more competitive, but they need to be ready for Alonso because it's a whole different world for them.
I like it. Mine is Cyril Abiteboul's resolution should be to show the damned tattoo at the first race, get it over with so Sky Sports can move on and stop talking about the damn thing.
Please be like a face tattoo like Mike Tyson. How much would that be great?
I want to unify the title. And I hope it's a tattoo of Fernando. I don't know.
They have to hope.
That would be great. Cyril should also consider sending a Harry and David fruit basket to Pierre Gasly in order to lure him to a French team. I'm just saying it. I'm just putting it out there. Pierre Gasly at Renault. OMG. Does it get any better?
I'm with that.
Yeah.
So who was it a couple of years ago said Ocon was going to wipe the floor with Alonso if they ever got together? But yeah, it's not happening.
That's not going to happen.
It was probably Will Buxton.
Gasly, yeah, probably, yeah, yeah. Gasly in the Renault, that would be something.
That would be a great combination.
Alonso and Gasly, I think that would be a good combination.
If I was the CEO of Renault, I'd probably, let Cyril retire, find a killer Andreas Seidel type guy, put him in there, get Gasly in there. You got Gasly, Alonso. That's a pretty daunting lineup right there.
That would be great. You're right.
Yeah. All right. Ferrari. Oh boy.
This is Enzo Ferrari.
All right, Grace. What is your resolution for Ferrari?
This is going to be the hardest year for me as a McLaren fan and having Sainz be at Ferrari. Like, this is just never, this cognitive dissonance I feel is never going to go away from me for as long as Carlos is there.
This was as difficult for you when Kimi went.
Oh yeah, that was hard. That was super hard, right?
Yeah.
And then he won a championship with him. Like, I'm still a little, I have a little cognitive dissonance over, Kimi getting his one world championship with the team I hate. But, so anyway, so I do want, however, Ferrari to, they also need to get it together, right? I mean, this is they're right before AlphaTauri. Come on, you're Ferrari, right? Like, I get it. You have a bad Renault's higher in the constructors' points than you. Like, this is not okay, right? Like, an off year. This is not get it together, right?
Yeah.
So, I think my resolution is pretty simple. For the love of all things Carlos Sainz, get your shit together.
I like it. That's a good resolution. It doesn't get much better than that. It's it's pointed words.
No one knows what it means, but it's provocative.
It's very provocative, Grace.
I don't care. Whatever they have to do.
Paul, your resolution for Ferrari.
Cheat more better. Don't get caught this time.
Cheat more better.
We like to refer to that as when Ferrari offered the FIA some help finding cheaters. They didn't cheat. They just were offering their services to the FIA to help find other cheaters.
Well, that's very nice of them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's benevolent.
Yep. So cheat more better, but nurture the driver pairing. Don't pit them against each other. Right, hire a guidance counselor if you want to have them all sit in a circle and talk about their feelings at the end of every race. But you cannot have they're in a place where they need to work together to move up, just like the McLaren group did not so very long ago. So they need both those drivers to be on the same page, not fighting against each other. all for the greater good of Ferrari, not for the greater good of the individual driver. And don't play any tricks to try and play against each other, try and spur them on to be going faster, because neither Sainz or Leclerc need any of that stuff, right? They need to know that what the plan is, and that if that's the plan and Sainz is ahead, then we're all gunning for that, or vice versa. But Ferrari, as Grace said, need to be not fighting with AlphaTauri. They need to be fighting in the top three, and they are not going to do that if they still are fighting within themselves all the way back where they are.
It's a good point. Mine's, kind of dovetails with that. My resolution is Ferrari's resolution is simple. Stop firing people. All right. Stop changing management, shuffling CEOs, and creating tumult in an environment that no team can prosper under. It would also help if they'd switch Mattia Binotto's remote work platform from Zoom, because that's a service that's been compromised, and we know McLaren might be listening. They have a history of that, So there's Zach on that Zoom call.
Ferrari needs to be listening to McLaren. I think Paul's right.
In the tires?
You mean Zach said nice things to you, Carlos Sainz? What? He encouraged you?
What?
Come on, man.
So I agree. I think all three of us think Ferrari needs to get their crap together. That's agreed.
It's
I like
good.
it.
But I think you're right. I think that's a terrible way to run any team, right? Like people seem to think that they're like fear of losing your job is somehow motivating. It's not.
No, it's not.
No.
It's not at all. And this isn't just a Formula One team. This is any business. Trying to work out of fear of losing your job. Then all you're doing is you're obsessing over the fear of losing your job and not actually doing your job. And it's not healthy. And the other thing is, this constant changing and churning environment, and it's just difficult, whether it's a Formula One team or a business. It doesn't matter.
The beatings will stop once morale improves.
Yeah, it's just
consistency.
It's very very difficult. All right, Alfa Romeo. Grace, your resolution for Alfa Romeo.
Okay. Isn't AlphaTauri next? Isn't AlphaTauri next?
Todd,
I'm confounded.
Fired. You're out of here.
I'm confounded by the Alphas.
Don't be giving me shit, man. I have them in the right order.
There's too many damned Alphas in the AlphaTauri.
I'll
Yes.
go along with you. We can go with Alfa Romeo, but you're giving me a look like.
No.
Hi,
You're 100% right. AlphaTauri. Yes.
Okay, AlphaTauri is next. So I think that they're gonna have. I think this is a good team lineup, right? So with Tsunoda and Gasly, I think that there's been a lot of talk about Tsunoda. I'm looking forward to that. It's not as much. Tsunoda isn't as much fun to yell as Sato, but I've always got a warm spot for a Japanese driver, so I'm all in on that. I think the key to their success is going to be keeping the long arm of Red Bull out of the team. I think it's back to what we were saying with Red Bull, right? So my resolution is continue to have a better livery than Red Bull, have a driver pairing that is better than Red Bull. Continue that, and make your clothing less expensive, because even by F1 standards, this shit's expensive. Like,
I haven't even seen their clothing. Is it expensive?
Well, again, I only looked because I thought, because I have sent Todd, Lewis X Tommy gear was last year's, fun Christmas present. Because I just wait until somebody has their Black Friday sale. And I was like, well, I know AlphaTauri is like, highbrow and they don't have sales. But I thought, well, maybe there'd be something. No, that you think the $100 key fob was crazy. Yeah. AlphaTauri's wear is crazy. It's almost
not even a 3-pack of boxer briefs.
No, right. Like if you have to look for the price, you can't afford it. Kind of.
Wow.
I was like, well,
impressive.
It's a lot. So make your clothes cheaper. But I think that just continue to be better than Red Bull and keep Red Bull out of your team.
I like it. Yeah. Paul, what was yours?
I got a message for Franz Tost.
Ooh.
He needs to do some work in the off season on himself, both inside and out. Right. I think he needs to go.
He doesn't need to be on the keto.
I think he doesn't need to be on the keto. No. He's a fit older man.
Yes, he is. A distinguished older gentleman.
Yes, he needs to watch continuous loops of the King's speech to bring him up with confidence, so that when they talk to him on the telephone, he actually says something back that's actually interesting or inspiring.
You notice they quit having him as their guest
Yes, they
team boss
did.
over a weekend on Sky. They dumped
But you know
him.
what that means? But that means we just get more Christian Horner, which I'm kind of getting very tired of too.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yes,
know?
because they never.
What would you think, Martin? What strategy would you move? Martin, shut up. And you know, and to go along with that, I think, you know, Francis needs to make new friends. You know,
does.
obviously, especially Lewis, he needs to go introduce
Yes, right.
himself. You know, not hang out, not do 2 rounds of the F1 party and leave out the back door.
Right.
He needs to hang out, be a bit more jovial, engaging.
Yes.
You know, and as I said, you know, take that speech therapy class so that people will understand what you said, and have something to actually say that people want to listen to.
Yeah, those
Speech
conversations
therapy
I've had.
I think of Henry Higgins. I
I think I've had better conversations with my teenager niece and nephews, right? They give you the like, how is the fine, great, you know, right? They're all in that stage, right? I get more conversation out of them than you can out of Franz Toast, but it's a very similar kind of experience.
Now,
right?
I know you think he's got the personality of a carp, but I'm sure deep down he's a riveting conversationalist. It's like My Dinner with Andre.
He just needs to come out of his shell, right?
Yeah, right.
Break
Yeah,
him
right.
out. Break out, France.
Freak
I'm not
out.
going to judge you.
It's funny because my resolution was for Franz Toast too. I said Franz Toast has one goal: get the Japanese kid to the front and create such a buzz about him that Honda will want to stay in F1 and make the parent team's engines. Can Franz Toast go from paddock obscurity to the man who saved Red Bull Racing? I think he can.
right.
And if he did that, Lewis Hamilton would surely know who he was then,
That's
right?
right.
Wow, we have a lot of like personal growth for France Toast this year.
Dude.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know, Franz, call me buddy. I can be your buddy. I'll help you out on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, we introduce you to people at the
Yeah,
parties,
come on.
you know.
He needs some like Jack Haney, you know, auto books. Gosh darn it, people like me, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
Some motivational help there.
Right.
Strong enough and dog.
All right. So now, are we on Alfa Romeo now, Grace?
Yeah, now we're on Alfa Romeo.
Shoot. What's your resolution?
So I think, so I will confess, this was the hardest one because it's like, nothing's changed. Do I expect anything in 2021 to change? No. So I don't know. And I guess that Antonio's there, right? Because he's, you know, he's in the
So we heard.
Ferrari.
Yeah, it's a rumor.
Oh, well, it will. Okay.
A prodigious talent.
Anyway, if he wants to get to Ferrari, you're going to get the lead out of it, buddy. You know, right? Like everything we just said about Franz Toast, I think you need a little motivation there too. I think that if I mean, I do know what he sounds like, but I think if you played like sound bites, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's Lando Norris. Oh yeah, that's Lewis Hamilton. I don't know who this is, right? So get out there, man. You know, get your narrative going, get your driving up to snuff so that people know who you are and that you'll get further up the
She
field.
makes him sound like he's Esteban Gutierrez, Paul.
Oh, it's not that bad, but you know, work on that. So anyway, my resolution is you have the best logo on the grid. It is time to live up on it. Live up to it. It is
Did we decide whether it was a snake or it was something else?
It's a snake or a dragon, but it's eating a man. See, Alpha argues that it's a man being reborn. That's crap. It's eating a man. Live up with your livery. You be the badasses that is a snake eating a man as your car logo.
Yeah.
All right? Get it together, right?
Wow.
Or,
I agree.
She said this was hard. She's very animated about this whole
well,
team.
I mean,
It's a
Alpha.
basilisk. I don't know.
Whatever that creature is, it's eating a man.
All right, fair enough.
Live up to
I
it,
like
right?
it.
So, but anyway, at least be consistent, make it into the best of the rest instead of back markers. You know, give me something to talk about next year because I really had nothing to talk about this year.
All right, Paul, what's yours?
Well, as I said, yeah, kind of going along with Grace. I mean, it's tough. Alfa Romeo are kind of like the middle child. It's tough being the middle child. You just don't stick out. And they don't stick out. They didn't really do anything this whole year, which was didn't make sense as to why they didn't change anything on the team, because literally They just kind of went through the motions, and it seems like they're doing that for another year. So this team needs to kind of stop making sense to me, because it doesn't right now. Could it be the young driver team? Well, no, it can't be, because they just sent them to Haas, right? That would make sense to me, right? The young up-and-coming people and driving the Alphas, and maybe one day you can aspire to be in a Ferrari. That makes sense to me, but I'm not quite sure why they stuck with that driver pairing, but they need to do something to add some individuality to the team, rather than just be the guys that have Ferrari engines and they rebadge them as Alphas and just kind of trundle around right about 11th or 12th.
Right. Yep. Yeah, mine's very close to that. Alpha needs to figure out what they're going to tell the public, the fans, about why they retain Giovinazzi after he delivers another mediocre season. That's hard to gin up air cover for, in my opinion, because there's a lot of people that could be in that seat.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of fans that would like to see people, see him in that seat. Or any one of the young drivers or some of the other ones, Mick Schumacher that could have went there. Hulkenberg could have went there. Checo could have went there before we knew it was.
Albon could go there.
Albon could go there. Right.
Red Bull said they'll lend him out.
Right. Right. So yeah, I agree, and it's going to be hard to explain why when you had a couple young Ferrari drivers, Mick Schumacher being one of them, but there's a lot of people that could be in that seat, and I think Giovinazzi's been in that seat long enough to show us one way or the other. So, All right, Grace, we're down to Haas F1. What's your resolution for the American team?
All right, where do we even begin? So I think
That's number one.
Right, so Haas has made a name for themselves, but for all the wrong reasons, yet again, right? Like they,
wasn't the sponsor this year, it was the driver.
Yeah, and I think, and not only is, I'm gonna try to stop calling him Marzipan now that he's actually in.
There's no reason to.
All right, I'm gonna continue to call him Marzipan then. Anyway, so because Paul said so don't send me the hate tweets. Paul said I should do it.
That's how they pronounce it in Kent, and it's good enough for me.
There you go.
Marzipan.
So anyway, he's a nightmare, both on track and off track. And if it wasn't for all his dad's money, he wouldn't be at the team. So that's great. And then you have, you have two young drivers at your team, which is also never a good idea. Even if you were, Red Bull or McLaren or Mercedes, I would never recommend, get two brand new drivers. That's great. That always works out really well. There's a reason why teams don't do that, right? I don't think that's good either. And then Haas doesn't have their own recipe for success. They don't know they haven't succeeded yet. So I think that maybe if it was a team that I'm like, I'll use Mercedes. Like if Mercedes said, you know what, we're going to hire two brand new drivers this year, I'd go, well, that's not advisable, but you're Mercedes, right? You have your act together. Okay, you want to do it, you go do it. But I think Haas, this is a terrible idea. You have nothing going on. You have nothing together there, and you just hired two young drivers to be at your team. So I do think that if the production company that does Drive to Survive is listening to this, they should just put a permanent camera crew in the Haas, pit
I think
area.
they do anyway.
Why don't we just make Drive to Survive 4? Just follow Haas all year. Who cares about anything else that's going on in Formula One, right? Let's just do that.
Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code PLAY100. That's code /play100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
You know, unless Max Verstappen does marry his current girlfriend, and then we'd have the Verstappen PK wedding that we all want to see. I mean, how is that not going to be great?
Charming.
Dreamy.
I just think the idea of those two families together seems like fun.
There's been a lot of slapping going on, I know that.
And kicking.
Fighting at Christmas time.
And
Jos is drunk, you know.
No, this
Nelson's-
is Max, not Yos.
Yeah,
he'll
but he's
be
going to
there, though.
He'll be there at the celebrations.
That's
right, with either Max's sister or his girlfriend.
Yeah.
We don't know. They're the same age.
Just keep
Who
Weird
knows?
Uncle Nelson in the corner. Keep an eye on him.
I think that'll be great. And then we'll find out if the torpedo gets an invite or not. I think this is the greatest story. I can't believe I've made it this far without talking about this. Like, because Danny Kvyat has a child with her, and now she's with Max Verstappen. This is like the greatest thing since Harold Franson and Michael Schumacher, right? Like, this is some great, Drive to Survive intrigue going on here with the private lives of the race car drivers. But anyway.
Drivers' Wives of Orange County.
That's Formula One. That's right. I'm waiting. So anyway, my resolution, I don't know that it's as much of a resolution as it is a recommendation. Overhaul everything and work hard to monetize Schumacher. All your comments should start with Mick and end with Mick. It's your only option. So I think you should do like Republicans do here so well. I don't mean to make this political, but I think, just keep going. Yes, Todd's my candidate. I love Todd. He's great. No matter what the question is, the question could be, what color is the sky? Todd is great. He's who I support. Let's vote for Todd. That's what you need to do with Mick Schumacher. No matter what the question is, just keep talking about Mick Schumacher. Nothing else. So we saw that Marzipan ran into some people on the track today, but didn't Mick do great? That kid has so much going on for him. I'm so glad he's with the team. So just keep bringing it back to Mick. Like you're a Republican politician, just don't talk about anything else, and you'll maybe make it through this year.
All right, good resolution.
Oof, that was very animated.
It was very animated.
See, this is early evening grace. That extra hour that you usually,
Yeah.
happens by the end of the show. It's sort of like a little sleepy grace.
Paul, what's your resolution for?
All right. Well, first off, I said change everything, which is basically what
that is what Grace said,
right? Change everything. There was nothing good going on with that team the past couple of years,
right?
And they changed the drivers, obviously, and changed their whole.
Are you thinking they should change Gunther?
Do I think they should? I think they should. Well, I think with Gunther goes Haas. I think the whole shebang maybe needs an overhaul in general, but their reason to be is very different than it's been since the beginning, right? They got young drivers, which is a great excuse not to do well. But I think they need to embrace themselves as a young team and champion that.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously avoid talking about Marzipan. As Grace said, just enjoy. The young driver, we're a one-car team. Did anyone notice that? Yeah, but my warning to Gunther is don't let Marzipan out of your sight and don't let him near your daughter. That is my words of advice for Gunther.
That's good.
But I think Haas needs to be a new Haas for the new year.
There you go. Well, my resolution, Gunther's resolution really should be relatively simple. Keep Mazepin away from booze and women.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
There you
Simple
go.
resolution. Problem solved from your end. All right. Now, Grace, we're down to Williams. What is your resolution for Williams?
We saw Nikita at the bar earlier. Do you have any comment on that? Did you hear about Mick? He did really good today in qualifying.
He ordered a steak. Yeah.
It was great. He didn't touch alcohol at all. That's on his diet plan. All right. Williams. Well, I guess this has been, my perennial resolution for them for every year. You're last. You only have up to go. This is your chance to capitalize on Haas's nightmare, right? So you can at least be not last. You can be second to last and, work to find some success. You have a whole new management. This will be the whole, first year with the new folks. So my resolution for them was get it together and help George score some points at Williams this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough.
Do more better.
Do more better.
That's right.
Not cheat more better. Just do more better.
Do more better. That's right.
Yeah.
All right, Paul, what was yours?
Well, I've got a thing is I think Williams needs to gain its new identity post Frank.
I completely agree.
Because right now we don't even know anything
knows.
About the Williams team. Technically, we know who left, but after that we didn't hear or see anything. They have no identity. We've got no atmosphere around the team. We got George, right, and he's kind of representing the whole team on his own right now. So I think they need to, step up to the plate and tell us who they are and what they want to do and what they want to do beyond 21 and beyond. What is this team going to be like now? It's like the new Doctor, right? Yeah. He's going to be tall. He's going to have a different accent, going to be doing this, but we need to know what they are and what they believe and what they're trying to achieve and how they're going to do it and who is Williams 2021.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the new owners have done very little to create their own sort of culture in that. I'm sure if you worked at the team, you'd know very well. But from the outside looking in, it's just like, it's like Frank's team without Claire and Frank. I don't really know what's going on there. But
right.
There's just two empty seats on the pit wall.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Maybe they also got the magic screwdriver.
Ooh.
Yeah, they may have. That's a good point. All right. My resolution, George, this is a bit convoluted, but bear with me. George Russell's resolution should be to chum up with Alex Albon's new DTM bosses, get them really interested in Valtteri Bottas, and then get them to offer Merck big money for Valtteri in order to move George to Merck and Alex to Williams.
Nice.
Other than that, perhaps George could get a prominent social justice advocacy group to offer Lewis $40 million a year to be their spokesperson and free a seat at Mercedes in the process.
Get your PowerPoint ready, George. You got some work to do.
Got some work to do. PowerPoint that
pages.
Out.
Yeah. Make a little deck on there, and then you can present that. I think it's got legs.
I think you're into something.
All right.
Some new emojis.
So now, finally, we're going to give one to the our resolution for F1 and a resolution for the FIA. Let's start with F1, Grace. What is your resolution for F1?
Well, okay, so I didn't break them out that way, but it's fine.
Going to do FIA first?
I'll just do them. It's
Okay.
fine.
Together?
Yeah, let's assume together.
Together?
I don't know. You made me go first, so I don't have enough time to figure out how I would separate them.
Hey, well, Paul and I are professional. We'll follow however you do it.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going to fix this in the editing, right?
Just for a long time, because I don't really have anything.
Perfect. Okay, that's what I'm saying, right? So I actually have two. My first one, I feel like, should be no surprise to anybody who's listened to this show, all 8,000 episodes we've done. Just call them customer cars. I've had enough. Call them satellite teams, call them B teams, call them what you want. Call David Richards, make it official. This is like when Ferrari said, "Oh, we're gonna put Haas in the guest house on the other side of the yard, but we're not together with them. Get out of here." You're like, polygamists saying, "Oh, we're in separate houses, but we share a yard, but we're two different families." You're not. So just get over it and just have customer cars.
Spicy.
It would simplify everything. You could get rid of 8,000 rules out of the book. I mean, because it's just you can, this is what we went through with Racing Point. Well, you can have this part. Oh, it's a brake duct. You can't have that. Oh, that's from 2 years ago. You could have that, but not 1 year. Just get over it. It's where we are. Who are we kidding? Just call them customer cars like you should have done 10 years ago, and let's move on.
Okay.
My second, this one's even better. My second one is get some real ass grown up officiating like every other goddamn sport on the planet. Okay? I'm like, enough with this. Oh, call Michael during the race. Stop with this, like, well, if I put this thing on my car, will it be illegal? No, get some referees and do your job. Hire some permanent people who are going to be part of your rulemaking at every race so that it's consistent. Yes, refs in other sports miss things. Yes, they do change the outcome of a game, but it's transparent. Why do we spend 30 minutes of a 2-hour race going, well, are they going to give him a penalty? I don't know. Are they going to give it to him at the end? I don't know. What are we going to do? You should know. He had 2 wheels over the line 3 times. That's a 5-second penalty. You know what I mean? Like, there should be some real rules and some real referees that go to every race. Enough with,
there you go, ladies and gentlemen.
You call yourself a sport, and you're bringing in people from AAA to be your rule makers on the weekends. Come on. Enough.
Wow.
There you go, Paul. I don't know if I can follow that one up.
I don't know if I can follow that one either, but
we can just move on. I don't.
Yes.
Just
she said, right?
Get rid of DRS, and then we've covered everything.
Oh,
right?
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All our complaints are covered.
So obviously with F1, FIA, can we include the TV package thing?
Yes.
This whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm running the show now. Yes. Put them together.
Let's move F1 TV to Amazon, so we can access it easily. Right now, I've got my computer trying to hook it up through the AirPlay. Then that's not working. Then I hook it through the other deal, and that doesn't work, and it freezes and it unfreezes, etc. Let's put it on a stable platform that everyone can get to, and be done with it. Right? I mean, there's a lot of things that have happened with the F1 TV that's great.
Yeah.
You know, like the in-car stuff and everything, and you can move that. You can keep that online, but let's actually move the race to somewhere that everyone can actually get to it and have a consistent, stable platform to watch the race on from.
And the battle cards. And the percent to pass.
Yeah, can we make that actually realistic? That would be great. Oh, well, it looks like Max Verstappen has 90% in his left rear and 10% in his right front. How's he going to deal with that, Martin? I'm not sure that's right.
And Martin just ignores that.
Yeah.
Why don't we have more graphs with 3 things on, with something on the Z-axis as well? Because it really makes a graph really understandable when 3 of your axes have something on them.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, so let's sort that out and get the good bits, get rid of the bad bits, etc. Right, and then let's simplify the cars in the rule book. Right, we're simplifying. We're trying to go to ground effects, etc. Fine, simplify the aerodynamics, everything, but also simplify what the drivers are doing in the cars. Make it that the driver has to adapt himself to how the car changes, not that he has to flick a different switch to change the car to go back to how it was at the beginning, right? I mean, in the beginning, when you started racing, you had a brake balance, right? And you had a steering wheel and a gas pedal and a brake. I'm not saying we're obviously never going to go back to stick shifts and manual gearboxes, but we also don't need 5 billion things to adjust on the steering wheel in between corner 4 and 5.
Right.
Let the driver manipulate the car to do it, and then that will see some big changes. What happens with all these technology in the car that keeps the car exactly where it was from lap after lap as everything else changes is that makes it even harder for drivers to make mistakes, makes it also harder for drivers to pass because there's no mistakes happening. So let's put some of that stuff back in the driver's hands that's allowable, right? Or achievable with the technology that's already on the car. But there's so many things that the drivers adjust that they don't need to, like they're adjusting the balance, from one corner. Let's just, you just have to play with it within the car and make it simplify that stuff inside the car.
Well, those are both good. I totally agree. I'm 100%.
I feel like, that's great. We're going to shrink the rule book is what we've done here so far, right? You get 25 pages. I think, I remember reading a story once that Sting with the police used to only allow Andy Sumner to have 4 bars or something for his guitar solo because then he got the best out of Andy, right? Like that's what we're saying here is that instead of letting them just riff and riff and riff and riff and riff, you get 4 bars, make it your best 4 bars, and we're moving on.
Right.
That's all you
creative. Get. Yeah. Perfect.
I like it. My resolution, for F1's resolution should be get yourself sorted.
Seems to be a common theme here.
If 2020 taught you anything, it's that old school tracks rule. Mm-hmm. And fans love them.
Yeah.
All right. Just putting that out there. All right. And my resolution for the FIA is this: their resolution should be figure out a good set of regulations, as Paul just said. This is paramount. You've got to simplify things, and I realize that money's driving the sport, and the money is, I get it. Everybody's, Honda's leaving, and the money, and everybody says it's all going to be electric. And I get all that. But the reality of it is you have to make it simple. And I still maintain that coming up with a simple hybrid configuration of a V6 twin turbo with a Kerr system is perfectly fine. And I think that's that's an affordable solution that other engine manufacturers could get into. It may not be Honda. That's okay. That's Honda's choice. But it could be Gibson. It could be any other, myriad of engine. Cosworth, could be anyone else. So I agree with you, Paul.
Thank you.
All right. Before we leave the podcast, we had 2 mail bags.
We're not doing the news about Australia?
Oh, that it potentially could be postponed?
Yes.
Yeah,
I like news that's saying this is potentially going to happen.
Yeah, I love the potentials. So I rushed out to post that.
You'd have to be in Australia like a month ahead.
Right,
I don't think that's going to happen, right?
No,
Like that potential is really not happening.
I know. Yeah, it's like, here's our new 23 race calendar.
So I just saw that right before the show, and my response was, how many configurations does Bahrain have? I mean, right, we've seen
right.
2. So let's just race a Paul Ricard and Bahrain, and we got it covered, right?
If you wanted to race like 6 races at any one track, right. Paul Ricard may be your best bet because it's completely reconfigurable.
And they would all suck.
And they would all suck, but you could reconfigure them,
Right.
You could do it, yeah.
It's crazy.
So maybe Bahrain has a couple extra configurations that we don't know about, and we can just keep racing there.
Right. I'm all for it.
We know how to do that.
All right, let's do some mailbag.
You've got mail.
First up, Mr. Jury asks, of all of Lewis Hamilton's, quote, toughest race evers, what was Lewis's toughest race of the toughest race evers? Meaning, Lewis is he's very prolific in saying, oh, this is the toughest race ever. And Mr. Jury is asking, okay.
It may have looked easy with my 60-second lead, and I turned all the engine down and everything, but it was really mentally tough. I had to really be awake.
Right. So he's saying, okay, of all of those toughest races ever, what was actually his toughest race ever? Paul, what do you think?
I'm going to go with the Jenson Button Hamilton clash at Montreal. I mean, nice boy, very, very nice boy. Quiet on the tires, smiley Jenson Button, just giving you the elbow and sticking you in the wall. I mean, that's tough to handle for a guy like Lewis Hamilton.
Wasn't expecting that, was he?
No, he wasn't expecting a little muscle from Button.
That was great, Grace.
Nobody expects the muscle from Button.
Nobody does.
Nobody
ever does it. When you get on the bad side of Button, it gets dodgy.
We need to know if you need a front wing.
I don't.
Jenson, tell me if you need a front wing. Roger that.
Again, always my favorite. Always.
That was a good one. Grace, what do you think his toughest race was?
So admittedly, there was an interview. This is also convoluted. There's an interview, I think, last year where they were asking Toto Wolff what his favorite races were, and his first response was Austria. No, it was in 2019, right? And his response was Austria, and somebody off camera goes "We did terrible there," and he's like, "Oh, but it's only an hour from my house." So. So then he asked whoever, was on the team that's off camera, probably their PR person or whatever, well, what track did we do good at? And they say something. He goes, that one. That's the one I really liked. So I have a very much a Toto Wolff memory, as you all know, when it comes to particular races. So I don't know which race was as toughest of tough races, but I do know it was probably at McLaren.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
All tough.
I think, to be fair, I think this year's Italian Grand Prix was pretty damn tough. The penalty started way back, ends up, charging all the way through the field. I thought that was a pretty inspired drive. I think 07 China was a very tough lesson.
Very tough lesson. Not forgotten either.
Not forgotten.
I'm coming over tires. You're not leaving me out here.
Yeah.
I think you made the wrong call.
Yeah. So that would be mine. And then also in the mailbag, our own our dear friend me asked, Lewis Hamilton said at the last race that he expected to sort his contract out by Christmas. He didn't mention which year. Will he end up on a race-by-race deal like Senna and McLaren in 1993? What do you?
I meant 2023. That's a very, a contract kind of thing. Like don't be specific. Be like fall of 2022. We'll have that done, right? And sometimes fall includes December, and sometimes fall might include July. Yeah,
right.
I like that. Well, you didn't say which year.
Could you imagine if it was on a race-by-race? That would drive George crazy.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Every time he'd come in his Mercedes, he'd come to the paddock with his Mercedes. I heard he's not coming this time. But no, sorry, there he is. There's Roscoe. Yeah.
There's Roscoe.
His George's shoulders dip, and he walks back to the Williams guys who he doesn't really know who they are. Right. They're kind of like the blank face people from Doctor Who. Also, another Doctor Who reference.
Yeah, maybe he just puts like a tracker on Roscoe, like Breaking Bad style. Like just stick it in the paw pads or something, so wherever Roscoe is, he knows where Lewis is.
Roscoe's always going for the gap.
And if you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver.
That's it, Roscoe.
Let me tell you this, Mr. Stewart. Yes, indeed.
All right. So my answer to this is no. He won't. I don't see him being on a race to race, but I could see him doing a 1-year extension.
Yeah,
if they can't come to an agreement on what Lewis wants, which is going to be, $150 million, and to drive for next year, then retire and have a cushy job at Mercedes, doing whatever.
Wolf One, yes.
Yeah, Wolf One, doing whatever social justice work that he wants to continue doing under Mercedes on their dime. I could see him doing a 1-year because he wants that 8th title.
Yeah, I think so too. But I think the other thing too is that this has been like dragging out for months now. And so I don't know if you guys ever watched Luther, but the first season of Luther, it ends in this big cliffhanger, and then the second season starts and we just don't talk about the cliffhanger. Like it was all resolved, in between seasons. And so then
it was all just a dream.
Right, exactly.
She was freaky though.
It just was, anyway. So I feel like this is going to be, like Luther season 1. And all we talk about is what's the hang up, because what after all these months could still, like, I get it that, okay, if it's the money, but at some point you can only pass that piece of paper back and forth so many times before somebody either goes, I'm not paying that much, or I'm not going to go that low, right? Like how many times can this go back and forth, whatever the issue is, that they're still at it, right? Yeah. We're never going to know. It's going to be like Luther. They're all on the subway, train station, and the police have surrounded them. And then season 2 starts, and we're not there anymore. But we don't tell you how they escaped. So
all going to be solved in Toto's kitchen.
Yeah,
that's right. It's because a lot of things happen in Toto's kitchen.
Get down.
Which is only an hour away from.
From the Spielberg ring.
That's right. Maybe it was 2 hours, but that's the track that's closest to his home, which I thought was a funny I like it. Yeah, that would be my favorite too.
Yeah, me too. All right. Well, that does it. That's what we think the New Year's resolution should be for each of the team or the associated members of each team. But let us know what you think some of the F1 resolutions should be for 2021. Paul Grace, thanks for doing some homework and coming together with your list of handcrafted notes.
Yes, you're welcome. But I do want to say something. I don't want to end in a down or whatever, but I do want to say rest in peace, John Paul Jr., who was a good friend of mine, and spent many days with John. And he was an amazing driver. He could just hang everything out further than I've seen anybody do it. And various things happened in his career that stopped him getting all the way up to the top in some aspects. He did win IndyCar race. He won championships in sports cars, etc. But he was much better than that And so he has struggled for a long time with Huntington's disease, and finally went by, but it's a very painful thing. So it's good in a way he doesn't have to suffer for that. But I just had to mention that. If you don't know who John Paul Jr. is, check it out. He was one of the best drivers I've ever seen in my life, and the most scariest person ever to ride with on the street. So farewell, John.
Absolutely. Let's see. Well, that does it for this episode. We'll be back next week to talk about God knows what. I'm sure it'll be
Australia postponed.
Maybe, yeah, I'm sure it will be.
It'll be official.
Yeah, and
is Lewis signing? Yeah.
Is Lewis signing? Right. I'm sure we'll find some things to talk about. But until that time, be sure to stop by the website, theparkformay.com. Share your opinion. Just do it with decorum and civility as always. And until the next time when we get together, I do want to say thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. As you know, we the last couple of years, we've been working closely with Kingsbridge and as a title sponsor for our podcast. And so they've chosen to do their marketing in other places. So we wish them well. But we do lose a title sponsor. That's a huge impact to us and this podcast. So as we head into the new season, I know times are tough, but if you could support us, we'd certainly appreciate that for sure. And that would go a long way to helping us. So thank you to all of you that have hung in there with Patreon and supported us. You can also do a one-time donation at our PayPal. It's at our website as well. So having said that and got the money talk out of the way, thanks so much for joining us in this episode. We will be back. And until that time, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber, saying so long.
That's it, man. Game over, man. Game over. It's not what I feel I've got to prove at all. I don't really want to prove anything. I started as an amateur with no idea or no intention of becoming world champion. I was curious to find out what it was like to drive a car fast, to drive on a certain circuit, to drive a certain type of car.
Looking for a fun way to win 25 times your money this football and basketball season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of stats, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and injury insurance on your picks are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million players who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/play100 and use code PLAY100. That's code PLAY100 at prizepicks.com/play100 for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.